Good morning. I, Soumyalata, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Soundarya Institute of Management and Science. Today's subject is income tax. In income tax, one of the head very important, that is income from capital gain. Those incomes are earned from selling or transfer of capital asset. That income is taxable under the head income from capital gain. The Government of India will collect the revenue from income tax on the head income from capital gain. Let us see the what do you mean by capital asset. Capital asset include any property in kind, any property. It is held by an assessee. Assessee is the person one who assessing the income from his asset is the assessee, whether it is connected with his business or profession or not. The capital asset means any kind of asset. Either it is connected with the business or it is not connected with the business, or it is connected with the profession or not connected with the profession. That asset is known as capital asset. See, these are the example for capital asset. Movable asset which can be transferred from one place to the another place, or immovable property which cannot be transferred from one place to the another. Tangible asset which can be feel, touch, or intangible asset, copyright, goodwill or any other asset. These all are the example for capital asset. For filing the income tax under the head income from capital gain, the one must follow the rules. Number one, there must be capital asset. There must be capital asset. There are two types of capital asset. It is a financial asset or maybe the other asset. Capital asset have been transferred. Have been transferred means here the asset must be sold from one person to the another person. The asset must be transferred from one person to another person or one place to another place. Transfer must have been taken place during the previous year. To file income tax under the head income from capital gain, the assessee must transfer the capital asset in the previous year. So, as per the current assessment year, the assessment year is 2019-20 and previous year is 2018-19. The assessee must transfer the capital asset in the previous year 2018-19. So, these are the rules which assessee need to follow while filing income tax under the head income from capital gain. Let us see what are the types of capital assets. Two types of capital asset. Number one, financial asset, and second one, other asset. In financial asset, again there are two types, that is short term capital asset and long term capital asset. The financial assets like share, bond, debenture which can be transferred from one person to another person, it is taxable under the head capital gain. In financial asset, again there are two types, short term capital asset and long term capital asset. The short term capital asset means the difference between purchase and sale of capital asset like share, bond or debenture must be less than 1 year. If capital asset held for less than 1 year like financial asset, then it is treated as short term capital asset. If capital assets like share, bond, debenture held for more than 1 year, then that asset is treated as long term capital asset. Example, land and building, machinery or plant or any other house property, agricultural land in urban area. These all are the example for capital asset which is treated as a long term capital asset. But in other assets, the other asset as I said, that is a Other assets like building, machinery, plant, or maybe the agriculture land, house property, if it is held for more than 3 years, then it is treated as long-term capital asset. If same asset held for less than 3 years, then it is treated as short-term capital asset. In the types of capital asset, there are two types. One is the financial asset and another one is other asset. In the financial asset, again there are two types, that is the short-term capital asset. If the financial asset like share, bond, debenture held for less than 1 year, here held for less than 1 year means the purchase and sale difference, if it is less than 1 year, then that is treated as short-term capital asset. If a financial asset held for more than 1 year, then it is treated as long-term capital asset. Other assets like land and building, house property, if it is held for more than 3 years, then it is treated as long-term capital asset. If it is same assets held for less than 3 years, then it is treated as short-term capital asset. This rules is very, very important to compute income from capital gain. But remember, third one, if depreciation asset given in the problem or depreciation assets according to income tax, depreciating assets always to be treated as short-term capital asset, always to be treated as short-term capital asset, because the depreciation of capital asset, the value will reduce year by year. If written down value or rate of depreciation or depreciation amount given in the problem, then always the given asset to be treated as short-term capital asset. Number 4, agriculture land in rural area. Agricultural land in rural area exempted from capital gain. If income earned from agricultural land in rural area, it is exempted from capital gain, but agricultural land or income received from agricultural land in urban area, it is taxable under capital gain. Let us discuss format of capital gain. How to file income under capital gain. Format of computation of capital gain. There are two types of capital asset, that is short-term capital asset and long-term capital asset. While computing taxable income from capital gain, this format should be followed. So here assessee, the person one who filing the income tax, previous year as per assessment year 2019-20, previous year is the 2018-19. The 2018-19, in which year capital asset transferred from one person to another person and he must receive the capital gain that year. So while computing capital gain, first we need to take gross sale consideration. Here gross sale consideration means sale value, or by transferring capital asset, what consideration received by the assessee, that is a sales consideration. It will applicable for short-term capital asset as well as for long-term capital asset. Sale value, purchasing the capital asset, then after transferring capital asset, what value receiving, that is gross sale consideration. From gross sale consideration, we have to deduct realization expenses. The realization expenses like registration fees or stamp duty or the commission or the brokerage, that all expenses incurred to sell the capital asset. What expenses incurred to realize the sales, that expenses is known as realization expenses. For example, XYZ, he is the assessee one who purchased the capital asset and he has sold the capital asset. To sell the capital asset, he has paid brokerage of rupees 10,000. These 10,000 expenses incurred to sell the capital asset, it is known as realization expenses. From gross sale consideration, deduct realization expenses, the balance is treated as net sale consideration. The balance is treated as net sale consideration. From net sale consideration, we must deduct actual cost of acquisition. Actual cost of acquisition means before selling capital asset, for what price we purchased that capital asset, that is known as cost of acquisition. Here assessee is a XYZ person. He has purchased the house property of rupees 10 lakh. This cost of purchase is treated as cost of acquisition. Cost of acquisition is nothing but purchase cost of capital asset. So the purchase cost of capital asset should be directly taken into consider for short term capital asset. Remember, the actual cost of acquisition or purchase cost of asset should be directly considered for short term capital asset. If there is any expenses on purchase of capital asset, it should be deducted from cost of acquisition. For while purchasing capital asset, if any expenses incurred like brokerage commission, from that you have to deduct. Remember, actual cost of acquisition, it is directly applicable for short term capital asset. After that, for long term capital asset, indexed cost of acquisition to be applied. Remember, for short term capital asset, index not applicable, but for long term capital asset, index must be applied. The formula to apply index cost of acquisition, here cost of acquisition is purchase cost of the capital asset, index which is number given by the Central Board of Direct Tax for particular asset for the till previous year, from 2000 to till 2018-19. So formula to calculation of indexed cost of acquisition is cost of acquisition divided by acquired year index into sales year index. Cost of acquisition is the purchase value, acquired year index, the XYZ person, he has purchased the house property in the year 2001-2. That is the purchase year. 2001-2 is the purchase year. That year index to be applied. This is the base year for computation of taxable income from capital gain. So the base year index is 100 and sales year index. The sales must be done as per the income tax rules. The sales must be done in the previous year. So the previous year 2018-19 for the assessment year 19-20. So sales year index as per income tax for 2018-19 is 280. 280 is the index for previous year 2018-19. These two index are very important while computing taxable income. So, indexed cost of acquisition, it is applicable for long term capital asset. Actual cost of acquisition is applicable directly for short term capital asset. From indexed cost of acquisition, next, indexed cost of acquisition deduction, after that you have to deduct actual cost of improvement. The improvement cost is nothing but what cost incurred after purchasing capital asset for alteration or any addition for capital asset. For example, after purchasing house property, if assessee constructed first floor or the second floor, that construction cost or maybe the what alteration he has made, that is known as improvement cost. The actual cost of improvement directly should be deducted from short term capital asset, but it will not applicable for long term capital asset. Remember, for long term capital asset, indexed cost of improvement to be applied. Indexed cost of improvement to be applied for long term capital asset. The indexed cost of improvement formula is cost of improvement. What cost incurred to improve the asset? For make the addition of the house property, for construction of the first floor, assessee incurred the cost of the 10 lakh. This is the improvement cost which is happened in the year 2014 or 14-15 or 2015-16. That is the improvement year. What index to be applied for the improvement year for 2014-15? Into sales year index, in which year that asset sold for another person. So remember, improvement cost directly applicable for short term capital asset, but for long term index to be applied for cost of improvement. After index cost of improvement, then balance is treated as gross capital gain. Gross capital gain. From gross sales consideration, we must deduct realization expenses. From realization expenses, for short term cost of acquisition, for long term cost of indexed cost of acquisition. Again, for short term actual cost of improvement, for long term indexed cost of improvement. The balance is treated as gross capital gain from capital asset. Then we must give the exemption from capital gain. After gross capital gain, we can deduct exemptions, that is 54B, which is applicable for both long term capital asset as well as short term capital asset. See, the provisions of the 54B, which is related to long term capital asset and short term capital asset. The assessee has purchased the one of the asset, that is the residential house or maybe the agriculture land or maybe the jewelry or any other capital asset. If he constructed or he has purchased a new asset, then he can give the exemption from capital gain. Here under section 54, the provisions are purchase of capital asset, sale of capital asset, and new purchase must be agricultural land. So the provision of the under section 54B, which is related to purchase, sale and new investment in agricultural land, and it is applicable for both long term capital asset and short term capital asset. Next, under section 54, the 54 is related to purchase, sale and new investment in residential house property. Purchase, sale and new investment in residential house property. 54D, it is also applicable for both long term capital asset as well as short term capital asset. It is related to purchase, sale and new investment in land and building. Next, 54G, which is related to purchase, sale and new purchase of industrial undertakings. 54GA, it is the provision is purchase, sale must be any capital asset like land and building, but new investment must be in equity share. The very important provision is 54F. The 54F provision is purchase and sale is any capital asset. The assessee can purchase the agricultural land or he can sell the agricultural land, or assessee can purchase the residential house or maybe the any other capital asset, but new investment must be in the residential house. This is the provision of 54F. So these are the exemption items under section 54B. From gross capital gain, if we deduct exemption, balance is treated as net capital gain from short-term capital asset and long-term capital asset. Problem on income from capital gain. This is a small example how to compute taxable income from capital gain. Shri Raghunandan was the owner of 2 houses at Bangalore, of which one residential house was sold on 28th February 2019 for rupees 20 lakh. He has sold the capital asset, that is a residential house property, in the year 2018-19. The 28th February 2019, which belongs the financial year 2018-19 for rupees 20 lakh. This is a sales consideration from capital asset, that is house property. This house was purchased by him on 1st January 1989. It was purchased on 1st January 1979 for rupees 15,000. He had made some additions to this house by spending rupees 3,000 on 20th March 1980. By spending rupees 3,000 on 20th March 1980, he made the addition. Remember student, if any addition made before 2001-2, it should be ignored. Any addition made for capital asset, before 2001-2, it should be ignored. And if any capital asset purchased before 2001-2, then while computing capital asset income, the index to be applied as on 2001-2, that is the base year, that is 100. Further, he added a room to this house at a cost of 1 lakh on 14th November 2015. The fair market value of this house on April 2001 was 15,000. See here, it was purchased in 1979 for rupees 15,000 and fair market value as on 1st April 2001, 15,000. Remember, if fair market value as on 2001 and purchase value before 2001 given, in that case you have to consider fair market value or purchase value, whichever is higher. Here fair market value is 15,000 and purchase value is 15,000. Here we need to consider whichever is higher for as a cost of acquisition. So here 15,000, 15,000, same value. So 15,000 to be considered as a cost of acquisition. He purchased a new residential house at Mysore on 25th March 2019. Again he has purchased new residential house. If purchase of residential house and sold residential house and again he has purchased a new residential house, in that case he can claim the deduction under section 54 for rupees 2 lakh. Compute taxable income from capital gain. So here asset has purchased in 1979 and sold in 2018-19. So purchase and sale difference, the house property belongs to the other capital asset. So purchase and sale difference is here more than 3 years. So the residential house to be treated as long-term capital asset. Let us compute taxable income from capital gain. Solution: computation of capital gain of Mr. Raghunandan for the previous year 2018-19 follow the assessment year 1920. He has sold the capital asset, that is the residential house, in 2018-19. His status is resident. If you have to compute taxable income from capital gain, see, before computing, you have to decide either given asset is long-term capital asset or short-term capital asset to apply the format. Here, the capital asset purchased, that is the residential house, in 1979. In the problem has mentioned, which was purchased in 1st January 1979. So the capital asset purchased on 1979 and it was sold on 2019 in the month of February. So the 2019 which belongs to the previous year 2018-19, because which starts from 1st April 2018 and it will get end on 31st March 2019. So the difference between purchase and sale of capital asset, here purchase and sale difference of capital asset more than 3 years, so we can treat as long term capital asset. If other asset like land and building, house property, agricultural land, the difference between purchase and sale more than 3 years, then it should be treated as long-term capital asset. So here gross sale consideration, as on 28th February 2019, he sold the capital asset for 20 lakh. This is the sales consideration or the sales value of house property. Then minus realization expenses. The realization expenses incurred. This house was purchased by him on 1979 for 15,000. He made some addition to this house by spending rupees 3,000 on 20th March 1980. But any addition made before 2001, it should be ignored. So there is no any realization expenses, there is no brokerage cost, there is no registration cost, there is no commission. So realization expenses nil for residential house. From gross sale consideration, you have to deduct realization expenses, balance to be treated as net sale consideration. So 20 lakh is net sale consideration. As house property purchase and sale difference is more than 3 years, so it should be treated as long term capital asset and we must apply index. So indexed cost of acquisition to be applied as the difference between purchase and sale is more than 3 years. The formula to apply index cost of acquisition is cost of acquisition divided by acquired year index into sales year index. Here the cost of acquisition as on 1979 is 15,000 and fair market value as on 2001 is 15,000. Remember, when the fair market value and cost of acquisition both given in the problem, as on 2001 is the fair market value and cost of acquisition before 2001 given in the problem, we must compare fair market value and cost of acquisition and whichever is higher to be considered as acquisition cost and index to be applied on the base year 2001 to, that is 100. So your fair market value or cost of acquisition 15,000, whichever is higher same value both. So 15,000, base year is the 2001 to, because before 2001 to there is no index. 100 into sales year index. So sales have done in 1819. 1819 index is 280. So 15,000 divided by 100 into 280, 42,000. 20 lakh minus 42,000, 19 lakh 58,000 minus indexed cost of improvement. On 14th November 2015, 14th November 2015, which belongs to the financial year 2014-15, he had made the some addition at a cost of rupees 1 lakh. At the cost of rupees 1 lakh, he has made the improvement. So it is treated as improvement cost. As the given capital asset is long term, we have to apply index cost of improvement. So formula is cost of improvement divided by improvement year index, that is 2014-15 into sales year index. Here improvement cost is 1 lakh and improvement year 2014-15 index 240 into sales year index 280. So 1 lakh divided by 2 lakh, 240 into 280, 1,16,667. Therefore, gross capital gain 19,58,000 minus 1,16,667, 18,14,333 minus, we can give the exemption under section 54 because your residential house purchased in 1979 and residential house sold in 2018 previous year, and he purchased the new residential house on 25th March 2019 of the cost 2 lakh. When the new residential house cost given, we can give the exemption under section 54B because provision of under section 54B 54 is purchase of residential house, sale of residential house and new purchase in residential house. So while computing exemption under section 54, the given amount is 2 lakh, it should be compared with gross capital gain. So gross capital gain is 18,41,333. It should be compared and whichever is less to be considered for exemption. So 2 lakh is less than 18,14,333. So exemption amount is 2 lakh. Therefore, taxable income from capital gain. Taxable income from capital gain is 16,41,333. This is the taxable income of Shri Raghunandan for the previous year 2018-19, where he filing the income tax in the assessment year 2019-20. Thank you.